Joining us this morning to talk more about the mission of Gather is Executive Director Ann Hayes, alongside Fresh Start graduate Kia Jennings. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
And I'd love to start with you. I'm wondering if you can give us an overview about what Gather does.
So Gather's mission is to offer innovative programs that build food security in welcoming and dignified ways. And that's a big part of what we emphasize every day, is that dignity. And Gather has been around for 210 years, and which is a really long time, but a lot of our growth has been in the last, actually probably within the last year. We moved to a brand new space and built Gather Community Food Center, and it has allowed us to open up what we're doing. So we have always been really focused on meeting the immediate hunger need in our community and beyond, and now we are able to go beyond that to try and help people in become more stable financially and more independent, so that we can both serve the line for meeting that immediate hunger need and work to shorten the line by providing workforce training and wraparound supports and education of all kinds. So now we're working with a program called Fresh Start, which is our culinary workforce training program. It's a free program for our graduates, for people who face barriers to employment, and trying to help them get into a position in the culinary field on the Seacoast.
So many remarkable things about Gather, over 200 years, and not only giving people food, but empowering people's lives, right? And that
Exactly.
brings me to you, Kia.
Yes.
You were one of the first graduates of this Fresh Start program. Can you tell us how you found out about it?
So my good friend at the time, his dad got a newspaper, the Weekly Sentinel, and they knew that I had loved cooking and being in culinary. There was never a point I was never in a kitchen, and they kept it aside, and I looked into it, put in the application, and Fresh Start Gather has changed my life entirely since that moment.
Tell us how it's changed your life.
So over the years, I struggled with mental health, and I was into a very bad accident that caused a brain injury. I was in a hit and run. After I graduated high school, I struggled with mental health and finding support around what I was going through, and opening my heart up to Gather and everything. I am now working full-time again after being too many months without a job, and I'm just speechless by how many doors and opportunities this program's offered me. I don't recognize who I was 6 months ago.
That's really remarkable.
Thank you.
And there's many programs that you have at Gather, and many services too. I know that you have a mobile food van and a community garden. Can you tell me a little bit about those?
Sure. So we have a pantry market right at our community food center in Portsmouth, and we run about 45 mobile markets every month up and down the Seacoast, bringing food to people who have transportation barriers. We're focused now, in addition, in the new space, given that we have a teaching kitchen, we're focused on culinary education, and we also have teaching gardens at the Seacoast YMCA. So we offer raised bed garden space to our members, and we have people to teach them how to plant the seedlings, how to prune and care for things, how to deal with pests and things like that. So learning how to grow their own food as well, which is really fun. So, but beyond the culinary workforce training program, we run Cooking Matters, which is a nationally recognized cooking and nutrition program. So there's a lot of different ways that we engage with our members, as we call our clients, and Fresh Start is one of those. Fresh Start is a program that offers 8 weeks of knife skills and life skills, is what we call it. So Kia was a part of that. So we have a chef instructor who she can talk about, and a life coach. And it's based on a national program called Catalyst Kitchens, and they're an umbrella organization for about 120 different culinary workforce training programs that work with people like our members. So very cool opportunity, and Kia can tell you more about it.
Yeah, I'm interested, Kia. I mean, let's dig in. Literally,
Absolutely.
you must have spent a lot of time in that new kitchen. Tell us some of the skills that you learned.
I did. Working with Chef Tim was incredible. He is an amazing chef and a better friend, to say the least. Working with him, we spend 8 weeks learning basic cooking skills. We learn how to handle and use knives where we're not hurting ourselves in any way. We learn how to read our recipes properly so we're not making common mistakes that could happen. We learn how to use all of the ovens and the equipment, and the chef even bought a ice cream machine for my graduation dinner, and he had taught me how to use that as well. So it's another check in my knowledge book right there.
Yeah, I have to say that we were talking about that magical dessert that you made.
Yes.
Can you share a little bit about it with us?
So initially I wanted to do like a homemade ice cream sandwich in a way, something with ice cream and cookies. And after talking with Chef Tim about it, he handed me a beautiful recipe of a chocolate vercheron. Very fancy name, but it was a beautifully crafted dish of like a very beautiful parfait in a way. Meringue cookies with dark chocolate ice cream, homemade whipped cream, and raspberry coulis.
Delicious.
Absolutely.
I mean, and this is just another thing that's really feeding that wonderful community that you have at Gather. I wonder if you can just give us an idea of how you cultivate that community.
Yeah, I think we really focus on treating people with dignity. It's something that, so many people feel that there's some sort of stigma associated with needing support, accessing food, and we want to make sure that that doesn't happen when people walk through our doors. So our staff, our volunteers, everybody associated with Gather is trained to treat people with the same kind of respect that they would like to be treated with. And the way that all of our spaces now are very bright and welcoming. When people walk into our pantry market, they say it looks like a mini Whole Foods, which is kind of a nice compliment. And our mobile markets look like farmers markets, set up under tents and tables and so on. So we make sure that that's the case. We have things like community dinners. We've done them for seniors for a while. We get 100 seniors and have a wait list of another 30 or 40 who want to come. We do our jingle mingle at the holidays and our spring fling in the spring.
Sounds like you have so much wonderful things going on.
And it's fantastic. And so people love to come and be a part of that. Yeah. And it's people from all ends of this income spectrum too. It's not just necessarily for people in need, but it's a nice way of building community with our volunteers as well. We work with 60 volunteers every day to make our programs work.
That is just remarkable.
It's a great way to bring people together.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Annie. Congratulations, Kia.
Thank you.
Thanks so much to both of you for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For more information about programs offered by Gather or how you can get involved, just log on to gathernh.org.